Brussels boss Ursula von der Leyen has insisted Boris Johnson must commit to match EU standards as the price for the Brexit trade and security deal. Speaking at an online event, the European Commission President said she would not sanction a future relationship pact without a regulatory level playing field that could keep Britain tied to the bloc's standards. But she hinted at a mechanism that would allow the UK to diverge from the EU's rule book over time. Mrs. von der Leyen said, "Normally when you negotiate a free trade agreement, two different entities try to join and exploit what they do together. Here, almost half a century, our British friends were completely integrated in the single market. And unfortunately, we have to shape an agreement where we discuss how to disentangle, how to divide, while being close to better together. Therefore it is so tricky and so difficult. What is it all about if we talk about the level playing field? If the companies that our British friends want access to the single market without quota, and without tariffs, so, total access to the single market, then it must be clear that all in the single market play by the same rules. That's what we call level playing field." The bloc's most senior officials said tariff and quota-free access would depend on Mr. Johnson signing up to non-regression clauses in areas such as state aid, environmental standards and workers' rights. The Prime Minister could one day opt to diverge from the bloc's rulebook, but it would mean the introduction of trade levies if the move is deemed to distort competition between EU and UK firms. Mrs. von der Leyen said, "At the moment being, we're discussing who we replicate the control of the level playing field. Be it state aid, be it norms, environmental norms or labor norms. How we replicate that on both sides so that we can be clear there is no regression on what we have achieved and there is fairness over time so that, indeed, access can be without quota and tariffs and all companies play by the same rules in the single market. We want an agreement but not at any price. We are well prepared for both scenarios, so we will see in the next days how things turn out." The disputes over the so-called level playing field and post-Brexit fishing rights are said to be the two main stumbling blocks in the wrangling. France is blocking progress by refusing to drop its demands for near-parity access to Britain's coastal waters after Brexit. Downing Street insists its negotiating position will not change. Prime Minister Mr. Johnson's spokesman said, "We want to try and reach a free trade agreement as soon as possible. But we have been clear we want change our negotiating position and we have been clear what that position is.